requested that I do a show on the code of silence. And Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover, should they be let out of jail, the Statesville prison, and Cook County, in the corruption that is going on. And like everything, I like to give the people what they want. That's the type of shows I want to do. So share this with someone. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Series of shows. Like and share and like. Send feedback. Thank you. Send feedback. Thank you.
90% of the people that work there got a form of some kind of what they call it, PSTD or what they call it, post-traumatic stress.
I know.
Yeah, it's real, man. It's like
because
when you get out,
you know what?
You really have to.
Mm-hmm.
What
he's saying is true. You start to become. You know what? To the listening audience, you start to become institutionalized because you are locked up with them 8 hours out of the day. And I was me myself. I was bringing it home. I was starting to act like an inmate. You ain't got no kids around here, and you trying to stand on something. And I knew it was time to walk away. Maybe that happened with him. Maybe he knows what I'm talking about. In other words,
it's still not the same. It's still not the same because guess what you can do? You can get up and walk out your house and go to a 7-Eleven and get you a Slurpee, and they can't. You know, you have access to food and stuff that they can't. So the thing is yeah, to an extent because you're working in those conditions. But the thing is, there's no comparison to a person that's on their deathbed or a person that's in the penitentiary. There's no comparison.
Well, I can explain it like this. You start to adapt to your environment. You have to adapt to your environment. It's about, and you know what? Some people, after they're 8 hours, some people they're 12 hours, and they start to take that home. That is true what you're saying. And you start to act out. You start to act out like actually, like you an inmate because you're dealing with it every single day. And I would come home myself and say, right? You ain't got sounding like an inmate. You ain't got no kids around here. I'm a grown man. It's kind of hard to explain, but you adapt to your environment to spot.
You know what? Let me say this. I once heard these inmate and the officer kind of like going, kind of mouthing back at each other, and the inmate said, "Look, man, I've been to the joint. I did 17 years."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, to his credit, he did 17 years. And then the officer looked at him and said, I've been here for 35.
Okay.
That's still, see, there's no comparison. There's no comparison because, and I get it, there are casualties of a position and a job that you have. Sure, there is a lot of stress that goes along with a position. County jails, penitentiaries, being a police officer, and a doctor, because they deal with death and dying on a regular basis. That is where it does affect you. But they cannot compare. Those 35 years, have them do 35 years in the joint and see how you act, see how that deals. Because these guys, when they're in there, you don't go hug your wife or your children. You don't go sit down for Thanksgiving dinner. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can leave that job in a hurry and say, let me regroup and get back to my house and relax. Whereas you in there, you ain't no regrouping. You better not relax, because that could be it. Or they'll carry you out there to the hospital there that's in there. So yeah, but it is corruption. It's just politics, and politics is the county, and they go along with that.
I hear what you're saying clearly. It's a difference. Them guys, they can't go home, and at the same time, from the other side of it, behind the badge, some of that lifestyle does rub off on you, and it starts to make
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I was to the point I was going nuts. Even like with my little nephews and nieces would come around me, or we have barbecue for them to be outside, and you know, all kind of stuff. You know, you think everybody gonna do something to them, and you know, your head is on a swivel 24/7. You know.
Yeah, man.
But I'm understand clearly what you're saying. You know, it's a difference. It's a difference. Yeah. But some of that rubs off on the staff, not just the officers. We talking about like paramedics, social workers, all kinds of other civilian staff. You know, they not the same people once they come out of them places. So work, even though they do go home every night. You know.
Right.
No.
Right.
You know what, you being an ex correction officer, do you believe, some people believe that they should let Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford out of jail because they might be able to correct some of these young boys' behavior patterns? What is your feeling? Should they let Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford out of jail? In a way, I would say it might stop some of the violence. When you talk about violence on the streets of Chicago, it's not one center that answers the one question. It's a multiple factors or things that contribute to what caused the crime and what could get crime down to a level where things makes a better quality of life in this city. Now, I would say give it a chance. Let the heads out. And see, here's where the problem gonna come in at. What's that? It's just like this. Say you live in a kingdom where you had to pay taxes, and you paid taxes for 100 years. And then all of a sudden somebody say, you ain't got to pay taxes no more. So you do another 100 years without a new generation of people not paying taxes. They love it, okay? Nobody's the answer to. Then the heads come back out and say, you got to pay taxes again. That's going to cause. Let me say this. I need to tell people who Larry Hoover is. I think Larry Hoover is the head of the GDs, the Gangster Disciples, and Jeff Ford is the leader of the L Rookers. And there's a lot of people that are starting to saying that they should consider letting them out if they made a pledge to come back to help their communities.
My question is this. Why would that question, and what would be the purpose of them letting these guys out to do what? Because a lot of people, family members, died under these brothers' watch. They died under these brothers' watch. So now here you are, and black people are talking about Black Lives Matter, and all this big thumping of chests, and we want to, and you say, well, let's let the gang chiefs out. To do what? To do what? What are they going to do? They're going to say, hey, everybody, these people weren't even born when those guys were walking around. When these guys were moving around. I know those guys. I came up around them. So I don't know what the heck these guys are talking about. I was just in the athletics. They were a few years older than me. But I remember when everything started. And we talking about 2020, talking about, hey, we need to let them out. If you take somebody away for 30 or 40 years, how the hell you think that they're going to adapt to what's going on right now? That's not even intelligent. What you should be doing is spending your time and energy on young black men and women come out of Morehouse to deal with this problem. That's just to me. When I hear that, I think that's insane. And truth bear witness to that fact. I mean, what are they going to do? You see, hold on. You see what happened with Willie Lord when he got out?
Yeah,
you see what happened to him? No, they killed him. You see what happened to him? He tried to do the same thing, going up there on Madison Street, telling them unknowns, taking them, trying to shake them down. You see what they told him? You said that's his own.
That's exactly what I meant when I said you pay taxes, then you don't, then all of a sudden you got to pay them again. You're gonna have problems. That's the problem I see about letting these guys out. Now, let me say the flip side of that.
Right.
Any black man in this country that has a following of people underneath, for whatever, it could be Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, but we talking about Larry Hoover and the G. It was said, and I don't know how true. I don't know how true it is that he was making a change where it was supposed to be about getting into politics, about stopping the violence, about doing this and that.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, white people would get wind of that and be like, well, he's about doing something positive now. Either we got to kill him or we got to take him out, put him behind bars for life. Now, you know,
Jeff was already in the politics. Jeff Ford was already in the politics. Jeff Ford was already in the politics. He was already hooked up with Mayor Daley and the TWO, the Woodlawn organization. He was already in the politics. He was at Nixon's inauguration. Jeff Ford.
Yeah, Jeff Ford. But the thing is, it was rumored that Hoover was heading toward that same direction about doing positive things. But before he could get that off the ground, he was in prison.
Yeah.
But you better believe the white folks knew he had something planned, that he was going on. It could be any one of us. Any one of us sitting on this phone right now to say, we're going to get a following of people and we're going to recruit people and the number's going to grow and we're going to get chapters in other cities and other states and we're going to be doing this. It's going to be all positive. Somebody's going to end up dead. Somebody's going to end up dead in prison. And that's black leadership wrapped up as a whole in America, right there.
But that's not black leadership, man. When murders are going on, so I can't dismiss that. I can't dismiss when a grandmother is burying her grandchild I can't dismiss when a baby can't go out there and jump rope on the street and they get hit by bullets. I can't dismiss that, and I can't have sympathy for something like that.
Nobody's condoning that it should be that kind of crime. And that, like I said, it's more than one factor that makes things better in our community. The gangs
and that will make it better.
Economics. You really can't talk about crime, much less gun crime, until you talk about a fair and even distribution of economics and economic wealth and power amongst all people. If you take that away from the group, if you take away economics from the group, you're going to have crime. It's as simple as that.
Fair is where they judge pigs. Fair is where they judge pigs at. You know, how much money can you make? They've been making money since I can remember, since the 60s. They've been making money on drugs and everything else, extortion, the whole shot. You know, instead of taking they have the money. They're the scourge of our community. Instead of turning it in and making it work, making the money work into the community and building and empowering the community, you know, you're still just killing people that's in the community.
But I mean, Minister Dan, you know what? Did you know what? It's true. Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford, they look, man, they got statues up of Christopher Columbus. They sit up there honoring General Lee. Okay, and the statues up.
So does that make it right?
They dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Okay, and they honor these men. Okay,
does that make it right? Okay, listen, men sleep with men, but does that make it right?
No.
Okay, well, so we can't use that parallel because Christopher Columbus did something wrong, and they honoring him. Well, we might as well honor Jeff Ford, might as well honor Larry Hoover. Well, two men are sleeping together, we might as well honor them too. See, now that don't make it right. But the point that I'm making is that I'm not putting them on a pedestal. Never have been on a pedestal for me. Because little children cannot play outside. They can't do anything. They can't even enjoy being outside without getting killed. Grandmothers burying their grandbabies when the grandbabies should be burying their grandmothers. And you're gonna try to lift these guys up? That's insane. That is insane. Besides, the young guys that are out here now, they're not even clicked up. They call themselves renegades. They don't even go with it. It's all mixed together. These guys come out, they wouldn't know what to do. They ain't had no control over these guys. They get gunned down.
Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover, they still do control people from behind the cell phones.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you what I know for a fact. Hell no. I'll tell you what I know for a fact. Hell no. Them dudes are down in Florence, Colorado. Man, they died at Florence, Colorado. They oh man, just getting me pissed off.
Hey, Cliff, talk about these. Wait, Cliff, hold on. Hey, let me share a quick story, real quick. It's not a joke. This is a true story. So if y'all laugh, you can laugh on your own. When I was in high school, and you guys know the hood, I grew up on 10th Tray. 10th Tray is like 103rd, but we was like on 101 Worth. So 10th Tray is like on Michigan. Now, I knew the guys from Princeton Park, because we all marched down the corners together. One of the guys I grew up with was one of the head gang members at the age of like 16. He was running Princeton Park. Now, when we all graduated from high school, he decided to shoot a police in the eye with a BB gun and make the police lose his eye. I went to college. Now, me and him was best friends. I went to go visit him maybe 2 times. I thought after he did like 13 years, he was the same person. But when he got out, he was a total different person. And I kind of hated that I got back in friends with him because I felt so uncomfortable with the new person that I thought I knew. Now, what I'm trying to say behind this story is when a person spends a lot of time institutionalized, they become a different person. Now, they're all going to pick up the Bible and they're going to learn the scriptures, but it's a different person. Now, some be negative, some be positive, but the people that, like Dr. Ben, if they got back out, these young boys wouldn't care nothing about them. Absolutely nothing. Now, I agree with Dr. Ben's other statement. How many people during a reign of terror have they took the lives of people? Even if they all was in a dope gang. How many people have he ordered killed? How many people he made girls give up sex? So we can forgive them. God might not. And I understand we want them to get out, but it's almost like letting you saying a lion is not a lion no more, but let him run in the woods. So it's kind of a tricky subject because only God can judge them, but, you know, they can't do us no good out here, really.
Let me ask you something. You know what? This maybe next week I'm going to, if it's God's will, I'm going to have Brother Red Ross come on. It advocates that Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford should be out of jail. I'm going to have him come on next week. This God's will. I agree and I don't agree to a certain extent because everything that is illegal was illegal. They turned into legal, man. They got legalized marijuana. They got legalized drugs, opioids. They got legalized gambling. All these things. And one thing that Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford did, it was a code. It was a code amongst these gang members, but they would not kill certain people.
What code was it? What code are you talking about, brother? Because I grew up around them.
Okay.
I grew up when Larry was with David Barksdale them. When it was the East Side Disciples, I grew up around that. I just wasn't a part of that. I don't see what code.
But they have they have some type of control over a group, like, you know what, like Mr. Kevin was saying, they do have some type of control, influence over some of these young boys. And you know what? They do have that. They do.
Well, fear. Okay, you can instill fear. But let me tell you a real quick story about Jeff, because I've known Jeff and witnessed Jeff. I'm gonna say something about this dude. Jeff Fort was a very interesting brother. This dude could look at you. I'm telling you, he can look at you, and he was very, very convincing. Jeff was a smart dude. I mean, maybe not in school-wise, but this dude was a smart guy, and I could see why a lot of people would follow him. Now, and they will follow him. Now, let me tell you this. What got, and like I say, President Nixon invited Jeff to his inauguration. Jeff got involved in that money was coming to the Woodlawn organization, TWO. He got involved with that money. It was hooked up with Arthur Brazier and Apostolic Church when they was doing that. Jeff got into that. He wasn't even gangbanging with the disciples no more. He tried to go get the money. But anyway, let me say this. Jeff did time down in Bastrop, Texas, I think it was, and he came back. He came back to Chicago. What really put the spotlight on Jeff was this. When he decided to deal with Gaddafi, and he changed from the Black Stone Rangers to the Irukins. When he took it to Islam, and the Irukin mean black stone. It's the Rukin stone that's in the Kaaba, and he took it that way. And when he brought attention, but they started talking about rocket launchers and everything else, and working from within, that brought the federal government down, and they had put wiretaps in the fort over there on 35th Street, and then that's when they took that. And that's when they took that organization down. Now, when Jeff went to the penitentiary, he went to Marion Penitentiary. It's the sister named Amita McLeod. She's the Islamic professor at DePaul University. I sat down and she interviewed me. And she happened to talk about Jeff because she said she went down there and interviewed him down there in Marion, which is 23 and 1 lockdown. And she said that if he had got out, she said he's like Malcolm. And I said, really? She said, but I know Jeff is that influential like that. Now, let me tell you that. Yeah. He's influential like that. So being in a Supermax in Marion, what happened was they said that Jeff became a good a model inmate, and it dropped the security level down. And they sent him to Memphis Penitentiary. He went to Memphis Penitentiary, and he became the leader of the Muslim faith on that compound. And they said that when they had Jumu'ah prayer on Friday, all the Muslims would show up for Jumu'ah prayer. All the vice lords would show up for Jumu'ah prayer. All the Stones and El Rukins would show up at Jumu'ah prayer. All the Bloods would show up at Jumu'ah prayer. All the Crips would show up at Jumu'ah prayer. And people that weren't even Muslims would show up at Jumu'ah prayer just to hear Jeff. That's how much influence he had. And they said the warden said, no, we can't have this because too many people is being influenced by that guy. And they shipped him back to Marion, then they eventually shipped him down there to Florence, Colorado. Jeff is very, very influential. But right now, this is a different mindset of human beings we're dealing with now. They come out of here, they got killed. No different set of mindset. Yeah, it's a different mindset, brother.
Well, I just came from Larry Hoover's mother's funeral, and man, it was so many members there. And what I'm telling you is, believe me, they still have influence. Believe me, because you know what? They had they was taping who was going in. They still have the influence. But what I want to do, I'm going to try to get Gator Bradley to come on next week to talk about why they should let Larry Hoover. I know Gator Bradley, but I don't know him personally though. But I know.
But shouldn't they be? Remember, they pushed they pushed that petition to Congress. I mean, to the Senate and to Springfield. Yeah. They already did that. They didn't ran that program already, and it didn't come up nothing. They did that already. So now is it rat chasing the tail? I mean, what are you gonna say? Well, should we or shouldn't they or should?
Well, Gator Bradley, you know Gator Bradley is still pushing. Bradley is still pushing. Yeah, but maybe you can get a up to date and see how things are going that way. Find out what's happening then. What's happening, because asking everybody should they be out, they ain't out. They're not out. And who gonna make the decision? Who's gonna make the decision to get them out? And those are the people that need to be petitioned. The people that can get them out. Because imagine somebody down at Walgreens say, should they be out? Hell, they don't know. They trying to get the Walgreens coupon. So the thing is that my thing is this: elevate these young scholars that's coming out of the university. Elevate them. They're the ones that's the difference makers. We talking about some people that's doing stuff on the street, and that's what happens with some of our way of thinking. We're going to elevate stuff that sometimes is a scourge of our community. It is. I'm not lying.
It's always going to be a line drawn between the scholars in college and the street people that go back and forth to prison. And it's always going to be a line drawn between that. So if you want to take the scholars from out of the colleges and let them give words of inspiration to people, that's fine. But the people on the street look at a different type of leadership from a scholar, from a college. So it can work both ways. And then here's another thing, another concept about should they be released or not. They had a program at Cook County where they had a pre-release center where it was separate from general population. It had more contact with civilian staff and social workers. The judges would have access to each floor. You had 4 floors. Each floor was assigned to a judge. And at any given time and moment, a judge could just walk on the deck. Okay? It's still incarceration, but they still had access through the jail for certain civilians to come in and minister, teach. They had the 12-step program in there for recovering addicts. Mm-hmm. Maybe if the answer is not just letting them out, they can have some sort of pre-release center where they're still incarcerated, but they have more freedoms on the inside to deal with people, to meet with people face to face and talk like that. Because, like I said, it's always going to be a thin line between the haves and the have-nots. The haves are the ones that's out here trying to work, going to college, got middle-class jobs and all that. And then you're going to have the other half that's in poverty that look up to these people that's in prison. That's reality.
Well, the thing is, and that shouldn't be a reality, because the thing is, you shouldn't look up to somebody that's down. And I'm going to say that. You shouldn't look up to somebody that's down. So I'm going to look up to somebody that's in prison. That's insane. That's insanity. That is insanity. That is insanity.
Over the decade, I was taught by family members. I've had family members that's old school original vice lords from the 1950s. My uncle told me that the type of life I was brought up in, with a mother and father, working, got food in the house, he said, if you ever come this way, I'm going to have something waiting on you when you get here. And he was talking about in prison. That was enough to make me go straight.
But you know,
Okay.
my response to what Minister Ben said. He said to not look up. Once upon a time, the Messiah was in prison. Okay. And
Oh man,
you know what? I'm putting them on the same level, but the people still looked up to the Messiah and still looked up to the Messiah. I'm just using it as an example. You said that you should not.
You know,
using my interview skills. No personal thing. Okay, but once upon a time, he was in prison. Once upon a time, King David? He was in. I think it was King David. Joseph was in prison. But the king looked up to him, even though they didn't do nothing, and they got him out.
But during that,
and he was. Go ahead, brother.
But during that time, they was worshiping rocks and worshiping trees and stuff like that. So I mean, I can't try to compare that. But the most important thing is this: we have to elevate our people. We have to elevate our people and get them to understand what really is the deal. I mean, all of us know, and we come out of our communities. We know people who are affiliated in gangs and stuff like that. We got cousins and relatives and brothers and sisters that are affiliated with gangs. We all got a ghetto story that we can tell. We all got that. We all seen all of that. But we should always aspire to be great. To aspire to be great. To have those understand, not to look down upon. Because there are great people that do come out the joint. There are great people that do come out of adverse situations. You know, it is great people. You know, under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm became who he was. He didn't come out there by himself. So under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, he came out. And so hearing something that can elevate you. Now, these brothers, you know, they're in a position. They're in that position, and you know, and anybody that's in prison, the ones that are innocent, I feel bad for, and the ones that shouldn't be doing a lot of time, I feel bad for. You know, but my thing is to move on. Now, there's family members. Okay, and we're just going to stay with Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford. They just stay right there. But what they could do, if any of their family members, who knows if it's a great-grandson or a great-great-granddaughter, that they can be inspired to be great because of what they learned about their great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. You understand what I'm saying? So where that right there can catapult to say, yeah, I'm the grandson or the great-great-grandson or the great-great-granddaughter of these brothers and go on to greater things, greater things. So, okay, well, because listen, we've all made some bumps in the road and had some problems and made mistakes. And one of the greatest kudos that we can get is if any of our family members or our children learn from our mistake and say, I'm not doing that. One of the greatest compliments that we can get. We could get, but yeah, that's brother, our community, we still got our work to do. We still have our work to do, and cause I remember this song by Huey Lewis and the News. It was called "It's Hip to Be Square." He had a song called "It's Hip to Be Square" back in the '80s, and I started thinking about that, and I said, you know what? Damn, it ain't too bad being a square dude, because the square dude now is the president of ComEd and the president of People's Gas. He's the one that can cut your lights and stuff off.
But you know what, Minister Ben? What Mr. Kevin is also saying is, you're talking about, which is good, glorifying somebody. Somebody from Morehouse, but you know what? The people from Morehouse in Tuskegee, they don't have the ability to speak the message of the language of the man on the streets anymore, because they have elevated their intellectual knowledge and change their vocabulary. That is another
No, brother. Look,
Mr. Kevin.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Once you go to college, you don't. Once you do 4 years of college and usually get a PhD or a master's, you don't come out talking the way you used to talk before you went in. So you don't.
Let me say something because language is my minor. Language is my minor, and I've said this at some of the lectures. Chris, you had some of the lectures you weren't listening. I've always said learn the language. No. Learn the language. Learn the language. I mean, be able to speak the language. This is what I mean by being able to speak the language. Being able to speak the language in the boardroom. Being able to speak the language on the street. Being able to speak the language in different environments. If I say something to you like if I say pro right wing left set 27 jet on 2-on-2, you wouldn't know what that is. But if I was in a football environment, you would know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. If I go in there and talk about breaking down shares of financial sheets, that you wouldn't understand it unless you was part of that board or part of that environment. And if I was talking about, hey, we're going to go and drop these things off over here and put these packs and ride down on these dudes, you wouldn't know unless you were part of that environment. The best way a man could be able to get across to people is to be able to speak the language and understand the language. Now, some guys are, like you say, intellectualize themselves out of the neighborhood, and you wouldn't know what they're talking about, and they couldn't relate. But I'm not talking about those types. I'm not talking about those types of guys.
Oh, okay. I'm misunderstood.
Right. Then you got guys in the street that you tell them go and there's a $100,000 job for you down on 111 East Wacker. Go down there and get that job. They wouldn't know how to communicate in there because they'd be duh, and raw, and who knows what they're wearing to assess themselves. So, and that's the versatile individual. Don't be pigeonholed in one thing, and that's what needs to be taught to our young people.
Mm-hmm. And you know what we long time for, you know what, Brother IX has to go to a rally. He has to go to a rally.
Baby, you know what? The rally starts at 6. I told him I'd be there around about 7 o'clock, but I can pop in late. I'm the kind of person like in church. Mothers always say when they sing that song, "I love the Lord, He heard my cry." I don't know if you
right.
They let the spirit go down. So I don't want the spirit to go down. I'd rather be late.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be inconsiderate of what you're doing, though, brother.
No. I take care of D-Ice. I take care of D-Ice. But I want to say one thing. Going on this subject, I see both sides of the coin, and I agree. I want to say this too because it's on my heart. For the brother that was police guy, first thing I want to say is, I hear what you're saying, but the only thing that I hate, and I see it, it's hard for me to watch jail movies. I don't like when the security guards allow other men to get raped. That hurts my spirit. And they can stop it, but they don't. That's one thing that hurts me. I don't like the way that the chicken order is in, that you have to join a gang. You have to do this. Or you have to join Islam. I think if a person did a crime, they should do their time and get up out of there. I just want to get that off my chest. Going into what y'all talking about, you guys are older than me. I don't see no revolution coming behind Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover getting out. I don't see it. If they want to get out and spend a little time with their kids before they die, I understand what you're trying to do. But I don't see them getting out because it's too many sides of the coin that don't benefit nobody. It don't benefit the youth. It don't benefit the bankers. It don't benefit. Right. So why would we let them out if it don't benefit? And actually, it will hurt. It'll hurt because now we already got these young guys rapping about putting more people in jail. They'll get out and tell people how jail is, and it'll mess up our business. So I understand that argument. The third thing I want to get off my chest.
You know what my response to that? My response to that is, and I know that Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover that are incarcerated in jail right now, they still, even if it's minor influence, they still have some type of influence. You know that. And you know what?
Who? They don't even know him.
Brother, I just came from a funeral with Larry Hoover and his mother died. Brother, there were so many people that believe me. They have some influence. You're saying that you seem to be applying that they have zero influence.
No, I didn't say zero influence. Okay, let me say this to you without giving out a whole lot of other stuff. If I'm the leader of this clique right here, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm having an event over there on 87th Street. Mm-hmm. You better well know that everybody. I say everybody be there. Guess what? Everybody gonna be there. It ain't got nothing to do with no. It ain't influence. Influence is because you gonna get taxed if you don't show up. You gonna get taxed. You gonna get taxed. So you better come on and get over there and show up. Other than that, they say, hey, we're gonna go over here and do this here. You gonna think you're gonna get a whole lot? No. When there's a gathering, you say, hey, we're gonna have a gathering and get it out there to everybody and all the different factions and stuff, all the different areas. Everybody gonna show. Let's show. We're gonna show. Not because we know the person, because hell, I'm just 18 years old. These dudes been gone since the 70s, and Jeff was in the 80s. This guy's 19. They have no nothing. But if my organization, I'm in charge of it, say let's go, everybody better show up.
Okay. You know what? You're making my point. You were saying that they have no influence. They do have some influence.
No,
you're making my point. Because if they had no influence, nobody would show up. But the if it came down, they say, hey everybody, Jeff and Larry say show up over here on 95th Street, and they're like, Jeff and Larry, oh man, I ain't going there. I got to go pick up Linda. I'm hooking up with her. But because I'm part of this organization, and the dude that's the chief right now, or the coordinator right now, or the general right now, say this is what we got to do. No. Who's running right now? Who's here talking right now? Just looking in this guy's face right now. He says, hey, we all got to go, and we're going to go do this because then that's what happened. Because these guys, they don't ride with each other. They ride. You got GDs, Vice Lords, Stones working together. You understand? Mm-hmm. You got them working together. They call themselves renegades. They say, oh, no. And some of them say, we ain't got no king. We don't honor nothing. We do what we want to do. We don't ride under nothing. This is what we do. You got other dudes that say, they call them bogus boys. We GDs that stick up GDs. So you understand the dynamic of all of that stuff that's going on. That's chaos, man. That ain't no hierarchy. Them guys been gone a long time ago.
It was chaos, but since the head's been cut off, that's what it grew into. It was more structure.
That's right. That's what it is.
Even when they were locked up, the lieutenants that was still on the street had structure that can curb and control some of the crime. Because all these top people are locked up, the heads, the board members, the lieutenants, everything is gone crazy. You don't know. That's right. This thing is so complicated now, you don't know who's riding with who. Like you said, you got GDs and Stones rolling together.
Right.
In certain little sets and whatever, where it used to be folks versus people. Now, I don't know how this structure is out here today. And then another thing to look at, too, about it's not, we all black first, regardless of what we are, whether we rise or whether we fall, we all going to be black. But the problem is you got certain diversity in numbers of blacks that look down on people that got less. The people that got less look at the people that got a little bit more with their nose stuck up in the air. And the thing is this, we got to get past that. But
Yeah.
whatever group has somebody that they can look up to that can lead them down a positive road, that's who leads them. That's why I say there will always be a line between the haves and have-nots in the black community. Now, a perfect example of that is that I used to see people on the street panhandling, in a restaurant begging, trying to get some money to buy a sandwich, this, that, and the other. And then you would have some young people come in. Obviously, they got money, they got jobs, they partying on the weekend. They're looking at the homeless man, laughing, teasing, talking. And I'd be like, look, don't look down, don't make fun of him, because one day we all might be in his. The way things is written out in the book and what's happening today, we all gonna be in that man's shoes. And then we'll be looking at the homeless man. The homeless man that we look down upon will be the person that we go to say, how do we survive in the cold? How do we make get water when there is no water? How do you wipe your butt when you ain't got tissue? See, all the things, we look at them now and make fun of them, just like we did the Messiah at the time. But that person that's at the bottom, that person that's supposed to be disregarded as undesirable, the way life has it, the way nature has it, those end up being the people that shine. Now, we can talk about verses that say, blessed is the poor. Rich people wouldn't be rich if it wasn't for poor people. That's how rich people make money, or for poor people.
And you know, when we talk about this gang members, first of all, I don't know who the head of the Latin Kings is, but I know one thing, that when things broke out in the Latin Kings, they protected them stores.
The guy's name is Colon. He's down there in Florence, Colorado too. His name is Colon.
I know they protected those stores. I know they protected them stores.
They used to call
and Cicero, yeah, Cicero. You know, but you know, by me, like I said, by me coming up and seeing how all of that went down and stuff like that, seeing, you know, couldn't nobody join the gangs. It was always a separate, you know, coming up. If you was an athlete, all the athletes hung together. If you was a gang, if you was in a gang, all the gang members hung together. If you was a nerd, the nerds are hanging together. And if you was a playboy, which is short for playboy, it was a playboy. The playboys, they hung together. Playboys didn't come out till about 5 in the evening, because in the daytime they got their hairs all rolled up and they processing everything. They ain't coming out until like 5 o'clock in the evening, and they're gonna be suited and booted. They're gonna go with the girls and stuff like that. If you wasn't cut to be in the gang, you wasn't allowed to be in it. And they'll just tell you, hey, y'all, you need to move on, young man. Now, y'all can't get into this. You know, they wouldn't allow you to even get in the gang if you wasn't cut. And the thing is that we all knew each other. Everybody knew each other. We all knew each other. We see each other all the time. And they just protected their particular spot. And they protected their particular area. We laugh and talk with them like it's nothing. And we just hustle them and make them buy us good humor ice cream bars. But to see now that how historical it is gotten and everything else, it is out of control. It is out of whack. But, you know, I think, you know, seeing that they should get out now, I think that path's been beaten up already. They tried that already. And if Gator is still trying to, you know, God bless him. You know, God bless him. You know,
but do you think Gator Bradley and Red Ross stay out of order? Why would I say that? Red's a good dude, man. I like Red. Red's a real good dude. Red is an athlete like me. We come out of the same environment. You know, we come out of the same environment. Would you say he's out of order? Even
no. I wouldn't say Red's out of order. I wouldn't say Gator. There's Gator. Listen, Gator's name rang through the neighborhood. But we was coming up. Like I said, coming up. All these guys that everybody's idolizing now, those are common names. Did you hear in the neighborhood when you was young coming up? So, oh no, okay, well, I would think different if they didn't advocate for it. So but I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. But like the brother said, they wouldn't allow these guys to get out. They're not going to get out anyway. They're not going to, because as soon as they start talking about, Larry Hoover was down there at Vienna Penitentiary, and they started coming up with the petitions to get him out, the feds jumped in there and threw away the key. They got him and locked it down and threw away the key. When the feds come and get you, it's a wrap. Believe me, it is a wrap. He might, if he'd have stayed in the state, possibly Larry could have got out of there. But don't you think for not one second, the way this judicial system works, when the state ain't doing if the state can't handle it, the federal government is right there sitting there looking at that, and they will not allow it to happen. And as soon as they start talking about petition to get Larry out of there, the feds came on and indicted him and sent him away, and he's gone forever. And let me say this. It'll take and you know what it takes them to get out? If Kim Kardashian went there to Donald Trump and say, please let them guys out, could they please get out and let them out? That's about it.
Okay. And you know what, Mr. Captain, and everybody, I like to ask everybody, do you think that Mayor Lightfoot is the mayor of Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America? She's saying that there should be police officer reform, and they should be licensed and pay insurance like a private detective, like a hairdresser, where they would think twice about doing something if the city wasn't putting the whole bill for litigation that takes place. What do y'all think about that, Kevin and all of you?
I'm gonna say mine's real quick. I'm a quick speaker. I deal with a lot of politics. I deal with unions. When the president of the union for the police got elected, I knew then the Chicago police was done. The 19th ward, the 10th ward, 42, 40, those police wards, they hated that guy got elected because Madigan and the police control Chicago. Now that they all elected, I think she's going to bust the police department up, and they're going to have to get their own license, and it's going to be a different story. So I think the police really made a mistake by trying to come up on her. So that's my opinion. I'm going to open up another call, 663, you on the line. So anytime you want to jump in the conversation, you're more welcome to. 708-663, you open, your line is open. You can continue, Dr. Ben.
Well, listen, I call the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, I call her affectionately Little Dude. Little Dude is, I ride with Little Dude, I'm just telling you. I ride with Little Dude because one thing that the Little Dude said, and I felt real good about it, she said she's really pushing and going to try to cure some of the ills in the black community. And she hit the ground running. She promised that, and she's pushing at it. She pushes it. She gets it because with the Dailies and the Emanuels and the Burns and all of those other people, it was business as usual. So she's pushing. So I ride with Little Dude. Plus, Little Dude ain't taking no stuff. She told the President of the United States, never heard this before in my life. She told the President of the United States, I got two words for F you. And then she told the Alderman Lopez, she said, you full of shit. And he said, did you say that to me? She said, yeah. I said, you full of shit. Like that. And I said, wow, that's what I want. When you want somebody in office, you want a doggone G in office. Now, that's a real G. That's a real gangster because she run the city.
I like that.
She's a real gangster. And she told Eddie Johnson, she said, you a punk. You ain't doing right. And he said, I fell asleep at the wheel because of high blood pressure medication. I thought to myself, I take high blood pressure medication. That made me sleepy. And found out he was drunk. And she said, tell the people. And the press came and asked her, did he tell her? She said, no, he going to tell you. And this new police chief that she just got, and Memorial Day was one of the bloodiest holiday weekends since 2015. She checked him right there in front of the press, say, she said, Your strategy failed. It was a failure. And the front page of Sun-Times had a picture on the paper that said failure. So she checking people, and she's bringing all the police department. So I like little dude. You know,
Me too.
Listen, little dude, I go toe to toe with little dude, and I think I get it. Plus, she be wearing some nice khaki pants and and she got a stingy brim, and she got a hand in her pocket. You know, Oxford shoes. She ain't playing no games, man.